predatory towards. It's the comfort, or what amounts to the comfort of other people. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever been really comfortable and it felt like something or someone just didn't want you to be comfortable? Just didn't want you to do that well? Have you ever felt that way? Well, that's true in energy. The way the human mentality is not your mentality. When you're in a group, the group's mentality is rarely your mentality. And the study of that is called group and abnormal psychology. Right? So you could go through whole life and say, I have a really positive mentality. But the mentality of group you participate in could have a homicidal mentality when it comes to my comfort and the safety of my own mother and father and their mother and father. And that's a very, very difficult subject. You have to speak in multi-dimensional ethical language. It's just very difficult. I spend my time with it. And I'm not even very good at it. Because there are no formal circumstances, and nobody will pay me to do this. And nobody will train me to do this. Do you want to train me? Oh, I gotta turn that. Right? Do you want people to have time to think about these things every day? It's very difficult, and a lot of people will just go psychotic and they go crazy. That's what I mean. That people that hurt you often have an eminently positive mentality shared by the dominant group. And taken as a whole, can be rightly seen to be predatory in nature. And one could wonder that the survival now of the group is so close to the survival of the individual that the individual could wield this mentality as though the group's own basic survival mechanism, the immune system, right, made up of the multiplicative order of survival needs of all of its constituent human organs. Okay? And I and the group would be completely protected from ever having to hear about what we do to you or what I do to you in the name of my people. Now, when you go out your door every day, did you know that everyone is a member of that mentality? Every single white person to every single native person or black person, every single white person is a member of like hundreds of those groups right now as they walk around the world. A celestial magisterium of electronic protoplasmic concussions and phantasms worthy of any Hieronymus Bosch or Milton or Dante. Okay? Striking like a venomous snake. Here, there, striking like lightning. There's a reason why God or Zeus wields lightning, because that's how violence strikes. When the industrial economic system or God system induces enough tension and gets you to get used to, accommodate, normalize, right? This capacity in humans in abnormal psychology to sustain tension and abuse at various epochs of their development and to incorporate it into their personality, in their brain development, and their group psychology is amazing. Right? The ability to sort of incorporate and normalize violence. Right? So whenever you see violence in a family, you could go into someone's home and they would do something that they do all the time that's violent, that would scare the hell out of you. And you'd say to yourself, wow, they live the children there. They go through that every day. And as an adult, you don't even want to stay. You want to leave, never go back, and just erase what you just saw. Now imagine that in an environment like that, right, you're born into it, or you're at a friend's house, or just in your town, your people, your era. You go to your friend's house and his mom sits on your dick until you get hard and fucks you, and then goes about her day. And you never say anything, because boys don't, right? We just grow up and you get really angry towards women, okay? But no matter how many therapists you see, you don't tell anybody. In fact, a lot of violence done to you or me, you won't even tell the doctor reconstructing your body what happened to you, because you feel guilty of. You feel like it makes you a bad person. You feel like someone would see something bad about you. Like, hi, it's a nice animal you have. Really? A nice animal. It's a German Shepherd that looks like a cat. The dog looks like a cat. Now this shed house is outbuilding has vines on it, and it looks like I thought they were painted on at first. If you were a muralist, you could sort of paint that onto something that looked beautiful. I love seeing beauty. Good, good. Move on along. Now, oh, the place has got a snowman. Grandchildren coming over. It's nice. They do it nice, you know. And it's all fake plastic sand, but it's nice. The sucky thing about it is like it's kind of sad because they don't really have reindeer. It'd be better if you have real reindeer. Put some food out there. Put the reindeer, real deer, and put some lights on it. They're like, no, I don't have the real. We could get up and stick a light bulb up his ass. Oh no, that's where Rudolph put his nose. Oh. The one could see. His nose wasn't red, man. His nose was brown. That's a lie, that shit they say about it being red. It was all brown and shit. Regular deer, it's usually black, but it's been brown. He spent a lot of time with his nose up Santa's ass. That's why Santa lived in polls all the time. There was a vote. Somehow Rudolph always won. I kind of think of Rudolph as Adolf, you know. Adolf the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The Movable Holocaust, coming to a town near you. I'd like to do a play called The Movable Holocaust, and we put on the Holocaust in local malls, civic buildings, churches, schools, you know. Act 1. Hi, Mr. Steiner. Mr. Shapiro, could you and your family get into this cattle car? You've won a free trip to Auschwitz. I don't think, the reason I'm telling that as a joke is because it would not be produced, right? It's like saying it is talking about something that if it hadn't happened, nobody could have even imagined how awful a thing could be, right? And to make a joke about it is wrong, but it's funny because you would never do that. You're like, what? Like, you'd round up a certain ethnicity and cattle cars, and what the fuck are you talking about? Like, if your friend was just telling you that one day, your friend Adolf in the schoolyard, you'd probably tell your parents, you're like, I think Adolf's got problems, you know, and, you know, you think this guy never talked to anybody? No one ever saw his journals, no child psychologist was like, Adolf seems to really not like Jewish people. Just, you go as a child, Adolf's psychiatric exam, just like, so Adolf, what's your favorite color? The blood of Jews. What's your favorite toy? Ovens to put Jews in. And I want to execute Jewish people. Oh, okay. Can I have him talking? Okay, Mr. Schreiner, Mr. Shapiro. Okay, I'm gonna eat you. Can I talk to you? Little lamb, He has a fixation on Jewish people. I think that's a little bit unhealthy. Can I ask you, is your family Jewish? Why, yes, we are. We study the Torah every Saturday morning. Okay. Well, I think little Adolf, little Landon, is not liking. He's getting some very sadistic ideas about the Jewish people. Oh, we've been letting him watch the History Channel. Oh, I see. You see, it's Adolf Hitler month. It always seems to be Adolf Hitler. I see. Okay. Very good. That makes sense. So he's just reenacting. Yes, he's very sympathetic to their plight. He just wants to try to understand the mind of someone who hated an entire ethnicity so much that he wanted to burn and execute all of them and round them up, while also conducting the takeover of the entire European world and the rest of the world at the same time. I mean, that's one ambitious fucking artist. You ever met an artist who's that ambitious? Never. I don't believe he was an artist. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Perfect. That's me. People say the middle class is it's like, I don't know about that. Well, these people these are $1 million home properties in the East. Bare minimum, right? Really, it's not much to some people if you live in New York or Eastern Canada or other parts of the world, but here in Parksville, it's pretty much baseline for a lot of more anything that kind of looks more expensive. The baseline is probably $1 million. Other parts, more rural, sort of suburban areas, maybe 500,000, I guess, for that sort of 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car rancher. Yeah. But these are cool, real easy, either side of the road, and the people who own them take care of them. You know, either because they work hard. This one's got a gate. I was told by somebody, I think one of these houses newly built, and the architect wanted to combine 3 or 4 different styles into the same house. And there was a neighbor, and they were happy with the result. And I thought it was interesting. I think it was kind of a show home or something. And, imagine building a home and nobody's ever going to live in it. You know, that seems like kind of a thankless job, isn't it? He looked up at his house and this girl in the bathroom, and she's just looking at the mirror, and it's just a completely beautiful portrait. You know, that's one of the reasons I looked a little extra, is not because I saw selfies, which would have been one of those things, because all I could see was his profile, his short hair, a little bit of a ponytail, maybe 16 to 21 years old, before staring at something. And it's kind of an interesting little silhouette, beautiful picture. You never get to see into people's homes very much. I should knock on the door and tell her she looks beautiful. Ravenous. Or rather, I am ravenous. Would you want to go for coffee? My feet. I think I've got 50 cents racking around down here in my pocket. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's a testicle. I could have the future family in there. If you know. I've never had a girlfriend. That's all. When the poutine becomes a routine gynecological part of your life, you don't have dreams about anyone because it's always there. You can't get rid of it. You talk to your 13-year-old self and it's like, yeah, it's always there now. Don't worry, it's not you. need. She knows I need. That's an expensive banana. It's not to the tone. It isn't just for playing. Women think about their vaginas as little as I think about my penis. We're in trouble. Because I think as my guys think about them so much because women don't think enough. So they just seem so laissez-faire about their own vaginas. And this is a problem. Excessive amount of attention. I like it, but it's like, oh, something hurts down there. It's felt good my entire life. That's a good especially after having to be talking about it. And you're like, yep, you're right. It hurts. Ones I used to know, the trees are merry. They smile at me. The trees smile at me. They're lovely. When I feel lovely, they're lovely. When I'm at my worst, the stones and trees smile at me like it's gonna be okay, man. They know it's gonna be okay. Doesn't make you feel better because after all, they're trees and stones. But they know. They say I love them. I see a dolphin from an ancient breeze. Dreaming of a girl's vagina, just like the one I never knew. Where the panties are see-through and edible. Oh, Xenu, I want to remove them in a trice. I'm a horny English professor. Nevermore, evermore. It's a bunch of panties at your bedroom door. I don't know panties at your bedroom door. I don't want to see your panties at all. Though I'm a mite enthralled at everything that will one day shoot through there and make new children. Oh, this is a pop-up line. Born Westies. people. Those were nice white people. I love nice white people. Right? They're not a problem. People are balanced, they're not a problem. Even if I'm unbalanced. I love that, you know? All those people could be police officers and the crime rates would go down. Realize it. They probably don't have the guts to be police officers. You know? It takes a lot of guts, but they don't have the capacity for lowered inhibitions that it takes to wear a costume. Unfortunately, which lowers your inhibitions. It's just going to. It's impossible to avoid it. You know? So the police, you can accuse the police of things that they can't possibly avoid because they're wearing a costume that's made of the carcass of their prey. So that's not their doing. People were entering because it looks like a very enterable place. It's alright, we'll go around. I'm not a bad man, I just make a sound. Yeah, so lots of times in my life I've walked around and, probably one of the loneliest people walking around. It's nice. But it's nice, because I reflect more pleasantly upon my youth as I get older, because it really was the happiest time of my life. And in preparation for any happiness, I think I will quite rely upon it. And I love seeing things differently now than the way I did then. But precisely because my feelings were so honest. Even though nobody talked to me about my feelings, so I thought I wasn't very in touch with them. But your feelings aren't full of words. You can learn to give words to them. Like, I'm angry, but you don't have to. That looks like it, but I think you can go through it. No, I don't know if that's probably gone, or if there's an images. I don't want to get in trouble. And I'm going to be, I think if even if you do go through there, it's going to be a bit of a struggle, and then someone's going to walk by and see you. One day might be the right time. Today's Sunday. You gotta deal with feeling like this. Yeah, my feelings, and but the things that really will stick with me, and the things that maybe will stick with you, are things where you maybe didn't feel good. To me, there were moments when children expressed aggression. Exotic on the one hand, and hello, hi. I was anxious to forget about it. Look at that. Hi. Cute. You sort of put it out of mind. You're like, oh, that doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with that person. It doesn't fit. Huh. And how many hundreds of times, how many millions of times maybe a day this happens, that children experience aggression and they don't know what it is. And for me, the most aggressive people I encountered were always the most popular children. Isn't that fascinating? You even see it in movies, right? You see it in movies and stuff like that. So the most popular people are often part of the most aggressive mandates. Drumming. Okay, I'm just going to do a Spanish Christmas. Ajute de pato fajita, ajute patato fajita, fajita, ajita fajita, fajita. Fata 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 si peri pepe, fajita fajita, patate patate, feliz Navidad. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome. Now, an Italian Christmas is like this. Oh, we're going to have the pizza and lots of wine for our children because they are not drunk on the beautiful grapes in our vineyard. They are enhanced human beings because our families are so loving and close. Wine just allows the joy to flow more easily. And if you believe this, you are not Italian. The Italian stallion didn't drink any wine. He was a man who decided to punch people for a living. In real life, an Italian immigrant who called himself the Italian Stallion would probably have a fairly lackluster boxing career. Even Adrian could probably be up. Adrian, that guy doesn't hit as hard as you do. One thing about being in nice neighborhoods, you know no one's going to flip you off. It's nice. To walk down this stupid suburban road the way I've never done before in my whole life. Sensed. I'm insulted. I'm not going to masturbate thinking about your daughters today. They will be dishonored by my faulting reference to my own religion. I must offer semen to young women on the altar of my impotence. I masturbate to pictures of the Dalai Lama. I like coming on his bald head. He's like, nothing makes me angry. I love you, Landon. He gets it in the eye. He's like, oh, my vision is tested by the interruption in my sight provided by your seed, Landon. Namaste. He deals with his aggression by just pointing out the obvious. When you do that, some people would see that as tremendously humiliating and disgraceful. But I do not. That's why I love you, Dolly. Dolly Lama, Dolly Parton. Check him for tits. You know, I'm not really much of a world traveler, but if I had a package, tits in Vegas, I would go. And you get on the phone, and it's like topless stewardesses, and like, I'm lactating, sir, if you want. It's like, okay. Nutties. It's off, too. Oh, don't bite, sir. Oh, okay, sorry. That's all right. A little pain makes a girl happy. No. You keep eating. This is your time. This is your time, sir. This is all for you, baby. All for you. Do you want a hot towel for your crotch? Yeah, okay. I'll apply it manually, shall I? Thank you. I'll start crying. I love you. Oh, yes, sir. That's what they all say. But we must leave you eventually at the airport, where you'll be joined by 10 geishas, prepared by Liane Ramon of the French Foreign Legion. They will get your soldier saluting to the Christian flag in no time. What? It's okay, you'll understand. It'll all make sense when the erection wears off. And then the horror will fully sink in. Enjoy your rest, sir. I've given you a small Ativan. Crushed up and getting breast. Also, if you need, press that button and you'll get a shot of heroin. Oh, thank you. I thought for service. It is, sir. But I've got other men to attend to, so heroin will have to do. heroine, you're my heroine. Heroine, you're my heroine. I want to mainline heroin. Hello, children. I'm here cool about mainlining heroin. Your parents are all lying to you. The pain is encourageable. Heroin helps. Here you go. I'll show you all. Now try to tie up the person's arm beside you so it kind of blocks the running of the pulse so you can start to see the veins. Now take the hypodermic needle and start pricking it until you hit pay dirt. Then depress the plunger and watch their eyeballs sag. The teacher's like, let us in there. Very good. I must leave now because the local constabulary does not allow me to practice my religion. They're awful cum-sucking bastards. Okay. It's okay. You can do a pee-pee soon. I've got a pee-pee soon. I really got a pee-pee so fucking bad. Oh, it's snowing. It's snowing. I got to piss like a bastard.